And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time. Let's help Beth do some digging pedal show. My name is Gabor.
Hey, welcome. I'm Alex. Going to check out this bass preamp today. Please hit like and subscribe on the channel. Ding the bell. Thumbs up. Comments below. All that stuff.
All that stuff. And we're helping Beth dig because it's a dig, Beth.
Wow.
Dig. Dig harder, Beth.
To demonstrate this preamp pedal box, we're going through a just straight through into a DI into Logic.
Yeah.
So all you're hearing is the sound of his.
And this was provided by Laney. So this is what you would call a sponsored video. And big thank you to Laney Australia for sending this to us. Yeah. So the Digbeth Bass Preamplifier Pedal.
So there's a whole series of...
There's a whole series of amps that Laney brought out.
A whole bunch of Beths.
Beth was very busy digging. And she dug out a whole bunch of amplifiers, a whole different range. And so this is kind of the smallified version. If you want a little fly rig to take with you, but you want the sound, you like the sound of Beth digging.
Baby Beth.
Baby Beth.
Sure.
You bring this along. So basically it's a preamp with two kind of channels. You've got an FET or kind of more transistor kind of vibe preamp style. And you've got a tube preamp style. You can switch between those two via this little switch. So you've got the green light is the FET. The red light is the tube. You basically have a volume and a drive for the tube stage, and you've got just a straight volume for the FET side. You've got a tilt control, which is notched in the middle, which you can either... It's kind of like a cut and bass and boosting treble, or vice versa the other direction.
The tilt thing comes from a old recording studio console design.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the console off top, but it's basically an early EQ from a console.
I saw another video and they said it's like a seesaw.
Sure, exactly.
An EQ seesaw.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you've got four band, I guess. Three and a half band, 4-band EQ. Because it's, well, 2 mids. So you've got a bass, low mids, high mids, and treble. They're all notchness in the middle as well. So you can either boost or cut.
Yep.
You also, for the low mids, you have a switch where you can either go for a more general mids kind of vibe, or if you want more the higher mids or the lower mids and a more notched kind of thing. Sure. We'll go through all that later on as well. You have those two switches. Basically, with this switch down, you can either have the FET channel or the tube channel. It goes between the two. Or if you click that up, you bring in both. So it's a mix of both. So you can, I guess, bypass or... have both. Yep. And this switch, you either bypass the preamp, or if you want to have a mute, you can actually set that so it mutes the whole system. You also have an effects loop. Yep. You have an XLR out. You have headphones output as well, so you can just plug it in and just muck around at home. You've got an auxiliary in for MP3 players. You also have this link output up the front, which bypasses everything. So if you want to plug that into an amplifier or into another preamp or something like that for a stereo bass rig.
Stereo? No. Don't do that.
You can do that via that. And you have an active and passive input. So we're just going to the passive input because both of our basses are passive.
Actually, the link works the same as a DI box. So often people use it for tuners, or they're just splitting the signal going elsewhere.
Yeah.
So you can whack a tuner off that.
Yeah.
Today we've both got some Fender basses.
Yes. I've got flat wounds in a short scale, and you've got a jazz bass with round one strings on it.
Yeah.
I just want a disclaimer: I'm a guitar player who plays bass, so
we own basses.
We own basses.
We got that far.
Okay, so this is the bypassed signal at the moment. So this is what the bass sounds like, just going straight DI'd into Logic. And that's what it sounds like muted.
Wow.
So that's when you change it to mute. So so the light is on, that means it's bypassed or muted. So as soon as you flick that on, now we're going into the FET channel. So at the moment, we've got everything at basically 12 o'clock. So this is just, so I'll just go from bypass to the FET channel.
sound like a P bass, a bit fatter, or you can make it zingier.
Quite nice actually. As soon as you go a little bit that way, it just goes.
Especially for old traddy type bass lines.
Okay, I was just looking at the EQ now, starting to look at the EQ. So let's look at the bass. I'll just play around with the bass and see what it is. So that tilt is back in the middle.
Sure.
Let's just play around with the bass. So you boost the bass and to tilt the thing to bass, yeah, it gets very bassy. So there's a lot of bottom end there. Let's just check out the low mids at the central mid setting.
Okay.
That's quite nice.
That sounds lovely, yeah.
Just gets
good feel.
Rid of a little bit of that sort of honkiness.
Well, yeah, you can do that with hand position too on a jazz bass, but it does give it that.
So we'll look at that switch in a second. So let's just put that back in the middle. Let's go back in the middle with everything. Let's look at the high mids just to see where the EQ sits. Again, they're all nice frequencies.
Yeah.
It doesn't go, even with the treble all the way up, it doesn't go too harsh.
A bit zingy.
It sounds quite nice. I thought it sounded quite nice actually with the high mids up a bit, the low mids down a bit, and a tilt over to the left a bit. That was quite a nice sound.
Or should we A-B that on and off?
Should we now, hang on, let's set everything at 12 o'clock again, and let's quickly have a look at the low mid, the 3 different EQ settings.
Sure.
So we've got, hang on, let me just see what the manual, I mean, it's in a manual, you can check the manual yourself as well, but just so you know, where is it? So we have, the one in the middle is a wider mid-range control, great for bringing out the growl of your bass, very useful to give you a bit more bite with distorted tones or for cutting back and increasing mid-range clarity. So that's the one we've been on. Then you've got the one down, which is an upper mid setting, great for honing in the pop of a bass or to cut back a fret noise. So let's try that one out.
Okay, maybe some funky-ish stuff.
So okay, so let's just go back to the middle, in the middle position, and I'll just boost a bit of low mids and cut a bit of low mids, and then I'll flick it down to the other just to see what the difference is.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
That actually made it nicer.
Nicer. Nicely.
Yeah, it sits in a nice spot where the mids are. Okay, now let's try the top one. The top one is a narrow lower mid cut, which is great for giving more definition to your bass when playing with a drummer. Pull it back to give space to the kick and snare and bring it up to push your bass in front of the drums.
There you go.
So that's this one. So it's a narrower cue on the lower mids and maybe a bit lower, sitting a bit lower as well. Down one the best with that. It almost gets more subtler as you go down. It kind of almost gets more extreme as you go up.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's different applications, I guess.
Yeah, true.
I mean, that's looking at the EQ basically for this. Should we quickly check out now the tube side? So again, let's put EQ back to middle, everything back to 12 o'clock, and a tilt as well.
Bit of growl.
Bit of growl. So now we've got the drive here and a volume here. And let's go from just one sound to the other just to hear the difference.
Pick to get some more aggression.
Well, that's with the gain all the way up.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
And I mean, you can play around with that as much as you want. But I mean, I think with that kind of stuff, if you have the drive low, just to give it warms up the whole thing. So this is, again, just the FET sound.
Large in the room.
There's a lot of bottom end there. So that's a more cleaner, more precise. That's a more vintagey sounding. That tubey. But it's nice, fat and warm.
Tubey thing. It's kind of cool when you get it to just to distortion level and then just back it off a bit. So
but now let's go to distortion level and then go a little bit further. Because that's what I. So I've got my JMJ, Justin Melder Johnson Fender Mustang bass with flat wounds on it. And again, disclaimer, I'm not a bass player. But, play some chords. Lots of bass. again, I'm a guitar player.
Think-
It sounds good though.
I haven't got a bad sound of it. Yeah,
No, it sounds really good.
it's just application, of course, is the appropriate tone.
But yeah, I think it sounds really, really good. And have you gone to the mix set? Yeah, so where you mix both together.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. I think it sounds really good. And I mean, I'm a guitar player.
But it's still fun and got some tones in it.
Yeah. And I mean, also for guitar players who, want to record stuff at home.
Yeah.
And don't want something digital. They want something actually analog.
Box we can just fiddle.
Yeah,
knobs,
box
get
where you can fiddle with
bunch of
stuff.
different tones pretty quick.
I think it sounds pretty good. I mean, generally, I've got to say, all up. Oh, hang on, it's mute. All up, all the Laney stuff we've used.
Yep.
Quality's always been good.
Build's really good.
Well built.
They kind of have their own voice too. Like they have a character. It's not just a copy of something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
So yeah, I like it.
Do you dig the Beth?
Keep digging Beth. I dig Beth. Beth. I like how Beth digs. I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Links below to socials and a podcast. What do you guys think though? Leave us a comment.
Or do you have one of the amps, or do you have one? Do you have this, or do you have both? And let us know what your thoughts are. How this compares to the amps as well. I mean, it's always different to amps, but
Sure.
Let us know what your thoughts are. And yeah, I mean, you have effects loops, you have different outputs and all that sort of stuff. But we just thought let's keep it really straightforward and simple.
What it does.
See what it does. Yeah. So big thank you to Laney Australia for sending this to us. And
See you soon.
see you next one.
Catch ya.